everybody. Platformscape podcast. We have Matt Andrushak with us today.
This is where we do the applause.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Episode 13, you said?
Episode 13.
13.
Good stuff.
I guess my favorite number. I don't know if it's my favorite number, but it was my junior high basketball Shak attack number.
Meant to be.
Yeah, meant to be. Lucky 13.
Yeah.
I think I might even have a 13 tattooed on me somewhere.
I'm pretty sure that no matter what we talk about, you've got a tattoo for it.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe not everything, but close to it.
Yeah.
Do you have any skate tattoos?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Do you want to see it?
What do you have?
I had a tattoo. This one there was from, I think it was just 18. Ruben Todd drew it up, and then I had Abby Stecker tattoo it on me. I think 18 or 19th birthday or something like that.
Cool.
Well, thanks for having me here, by the way.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thanks for being here. I'm really excited to have you. Just so you know, Ben, Shak, and I. Okay, so right there, I was just gonna say how
You're gonna
It's
age
hard.
me. You're gonna age me right now.
it's weird for me to call you Matt because you've been Shak for so long for me.
Yeah.
And now I
Shak.
feel like you're grown up and I should call you by your real name now. But it's so weird because it's been Shak forever.
Why is it Shaq?
Yeah, Andrushak, Shak. There's other nicknames that we won't go over. That's the viewers out there. Some of the older viewers, they'll know what those nicknames are if they're listening or watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we go back a long way, and so that's why I'm excited about this episode because we've got lots of history and lots to talk about.
Yeah,
He's
there
been
is.
talking about having you on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Good. Well, there is definitely a lot of history from the old days of the platform before when it was the platform and the big concrete pad and those scary days.
Yeah. When the podcast was still just an idea, and I was at Scam Skate chatting with Joel Baker, and he got excited about the idea. And one of his first comments was, "You got to have Shak on."
I wonder why. Like, is it just because of my I've been around for so long, or I was around for so long? I haven't been around for the last 10, 12, 15 years, but I guess I've been since day one.
Yeah. And I think probably it's like you would be come before those guys.
Yeah.
And so he would be interested in like, what was the scene like before they were here?
Yeah, that's weird to think about, actually. There's the scene after
Right.
my scene and my era and stuff like that. Even the scene here now, like it's like thinking about it is, I just go back to thinking about the days that I had.
Right.
You were like the early platform days?
Oh, the early platform days.
What was the scene like?
Yeah, well, they were even before Steve arrived. The platform, the platform goes back to when, there's have you seen pictures of the old, like the actual platform, the burnt down building?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, it goes back to when we had the outdoor platform where we made these makeshift ramps, and I was young, like I was the 14 or 15-year-old, and there was guys 18, 20, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
They were like the original platform guys. And I just growing up watching those guys was pretty cool. I mean, it was rough days too. Like I remember being at the platform and someone yelling that like to run. And I was like, what the heck are we talking? Like, what's going on? And then I saw like a group of individuals walking down the street carrying hammers and chains, and like they're like coming at us. And all the younger guys, like I think the older guys, like pushed us out, and like we ran. I ran all the way as fast as I could to the cop shop, and then at like we found it afterwards. Like we went back, and there was like windshields broken on vehicles, and guys had like blood coming out of their eyeballs. Like it was like this big old like gang brawl from what's that movie? The Socias and the Greasers,
Outsiders?
the Outsiders. Yeah, it was crazy. It was like that legitimately happened. There was,
It did, yeah.
I remember that happening. So those are the days from the old platform days.
The thing that I'm curious about was the scene that was there, those older guys that were there. What was it like to come in as a young kid and skate there? Like, do you remember like kind of when you first started going there?
Yeah, it's going back a long time ago now. And
Yeah.
like, to think when I first kind of showed up with my maybe it was like a Walmart board that I pieced together with like some trucks that I found, just like super makeshift. Like you were definitely laughed off the platform and like not escorted out, but it was just kind of like, you don't belong here kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Vaguely remember that. It was then when I got a little bit older. I don't remember now what grade it was, maybe 7. And I think it was Kelly Joel. He kind of took me under his wing and like took me over to the platform with him. And ever since that day, like then it was more like, okay, well, you came over with Kelly. So like, you'll be fine or whatever. Just stay out of my way, and we don't got a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it doesn't. I mean, it really didn't take too much time after that where you like start getting a little bit better, and then the guys are sitting around and they're whatever watching you, and they're okay. Then they get okay with you, and so yeah. It was strange. It's definitely not like now where you show up and everybody's giving each other high fives and it doesn't matter what your age. It was kind of that stereotypical, like back in the day thing with someone new coming in and making it harder to accept the person.
Well, and like the thing to remember was that skateboarding was way more subculture than it is now, right? Like it's way more accepted in the mainstream culture than it was back then. It was so fringe at that point still, right?
Yeah, it really was. And like it's like that's ingrained in you, and it still is at 30, 35. Like I still think like it's like I'm getting looked at like I'm a skateboarder and I'm not, and I'm going to break something or steal something or,
right.
Or like, cause some hell. Yeah. And I might, but
that's an interesting observation because you're right. I do see that in skaters, especially the older ones that still have that mentality that, like this idea of being core skater puts you on the outside.
It does. And maybe it's because like we like to be on the outside, like I, for me anyways, it was, I was on the outside because that's kind of where I fit in. And I liked it. And I feel like even with where like I'm at today, it still kind of feels that way strangely. Yeah.
Those were good times to be a skateboarder in Portage, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Good times, good vibes. For the most part, there were a lot of fights. But as far as growing up in it, it was pretty cool. Like it was fun.
What was the park like back then? Or I guess the platform, like what was there?
What was there?
Yeah.
Well, when I walked through the door back in this little skate park you have here now, it looked a lot better than what we had on the actual platform. It was super sketchy. Like we had pallets like lined all up, and then like one good sheet of plywood maybe to make a ramp, and that didn't last very long. And we had a couple boxes that were, you'd have it one day and the next day it'd be missing. Someone would take it
or burned.
I remember like when I remember when the older guys, they stole like a lift of wood, a lift of plywood. And I remember them talking about how they're like they were scouting out this lift of wood from somewhere and they were going to steal it the one night. And then on the weekend, they were building this massive bank. It was so big. It was like 3 sheets of plywood long and like 5 wide or something. And so they made this super big bank. And I remember we skated it, and I was still young, so like I would only make it up half of it or something like that. And then it wasn't long before that thing came crashing to the ground, and then I think it got burnt too. And
Lots of burning.
well, it's like you skate by night or skate by day, and like they were like drinking and burning stuff by night to stay warm, I guess.
Yeah. I remember that too, where like there'd be a new obstacle that somebody would build and bring there. And you'd be like, okay, I got to skate it today because there's a good chance it's not here tomorrow.
Dang.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like our DIY almost. So if we put stuff there,
Yeah.
you know, because some of that stuff's been, like, it's gone real quick.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way it was.
It was. You would have to like, you would show up and like, oh, okay, let's go take a walk out back and just go see where our rails are, because they'd be throwing next to the train track or something like that.
Yeah.
The nice thing was the fact that railway tie storage was right beside. And so you could always drag railway ties over to build something.
Yeah, you could always find some scraps to build something for sure.
That's super cool, actually. You know, just kind of finding, just like whatever you have, you just learn to ride it.
Yeah, it was cool. I remember like, well, I'm a carpenter now, but when I was younger, it definitely was not. I remember building this ramp, and it was like straight up and down. I think one of the older guys tried to ride it, and like it was too steep to even ride, so he just kicked it over and broke it into a million pieces. Like within 5 minutes of us being there, and I was like, "Geez, okay."
Yeah, that was short lived.
It was short lived. Yeah.
You probably had the best trick on it though. So.
No, I don't even think I could ride it.
Oh.
Back then, was all the skating happening at the platform, or was there street skating happening as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't remember a lot about the street skating when I was like really young. Maybe more like when Nick and Kalen and Beauchamp and those guys were when we started doing street skating. So a little bit like towards the end, I think more like when you showed up on the scene, then we started doing a little more street skating. But before that, it was more, we'd just go to the platform, or we'd skate on the street and like in front of our house or something. Like,
right.
Maybe it's because I wasn't allowed to go very far.
Right.
But yeah, I don't remember a lot of street spots.
I feel like street spots are like way harder to ride too. So like if you have a place to go to kind of meet up with everybody,
yeah,
kind of what happens.
Well, that, and like I think when we were, back then, like it wasn't, you get kicked out of places like really quickly, and it was frowned upon, like even more so. So I don't think we even really tried at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was different then. Like it wasn't filming culture then, because
I guess so. Hey.
Like there wasn't a lot of filming going on.
No, there wasn't any filming. Well, like that was like around the time when I got my first cell phone. It was like a Nokia. I bought it off of a buddy, and I was in like, I think I was in grade 8 or something, and I bought, this makes me sound so old, but I bought this, are old. Yeah, I bought this Nokia cell phone from a friend, and like it was just like you could pay for texting like per text or something like that, I think maybe. And
like minutes?
Yeah. It was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah.
So like I had it, and it was, so there was really no filming at that time either. And I remember us talking about the cell phone and how we like texting would be so cool, or like sending messages. So that's super weird.
You definitely couldn't film with your
no.
cell phone
There's
at that
no
point.
filming at cell phone. I don't think you couldn't take pictures either, or like you basically could just make calls. And I think at that point you could maybe send a message.
At that time, to film, you would use like a video camera that used a VCR tape in it, like I remember doing that with biking. We did some, we filmed some stuff, and it was just a massive camera that used this big tape.
That'd be a nightmare to edit on. Hey.
Oh yeah.
Could you even edit anything, or do you just like do it to have it?
How you edited was you would play it back to a VCR, and then you would just like on the VCR, you would record the piece that you wanted, and then then you'd stop recording, then you'd get it to the next piece, and then you'd hit record, and then you'd play that piece, and that's how you edited on.
Super rough.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you know what? The cameras were available when we were skating. It just, I don't think no one had them. Like I think you showed up with the camera for the first time. That started things off, maybe. I don't remember ever having a camera.
Yeah, I don't remember there being a lot of cameras around.
No.
And did obviously pros filmed videos at that time, but like, did you guys watch a lot of videos for inspiration, or do you just kinda go and ride?
Heck yeah, we did. Shorty's Fulfill the Dream was huge then. Oh my goodness. Like watching Musk and Smolik on those videos was like pretty big. It's funny to see like Musk and now like reviving the Shorties, the Shorties decks, and that era is pretty cool and pretty funny to see now. But yeah, we definitely watched videos. You know, we would, like the typical kid. I think the typical kid. I don't know what they're like now, but we would just go in the basement, get a couple bowls of cereal, and sit in the dark in the cool basement and like watch a video. And then as soon as it's done, like run out the door and pretend that we're gonna be pro.
Yeah, that's the best feeling ever.
Ride as fast as I can to the skate park. Yeah, realize that there's no ramps, and then do some flat ground tricks until it's dark and go home.
I actually relate to that so much. You just watch videos, just get amped. You just go in the driveway. Yeah, just like pretend you're filming.
Yeah.
Where would you have gotten the videos at that point?
It's, when I was able to purchase videos, I think it was R1N. I think R1N had a few videos, and I was coming into Brandon a lot. My aunt lived there, so I would go to Senate. I think it was Senate. No, 76, I think it was called. It was 76 back in the day when Pete owned it, and I think I bought like a video there, and so yeah.
I guess people weren't like just put. Oh, I guess When did YouTube like even like
a long time after that?
A long time. YouTube's been. YouTube pretty much started when I like stopped skateboarding.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I don't really know like.
I still don't even know how to use YouTube, to be honest. Like, I watch it. I don't know how to upload videos or anything like that.
I've never had to just like buy a DVD. And like, I actually I wish that I was able to just like, like I see like, a new DVD's coming out, a new full part's coming out, and I have to like wait for it,
Yeah.
But now it's like, you wake up, you're like, okay, gonna go look, like 6 new videos are out. Like, you're not gonna get to watch all of them. And there's no time to get excited even.
Yeah, no, it's just weird. It's just, it's strange now. Like, I personally love to like, you got that physical copy in your hand, you got so excited, and you had to wait till you get home because you can't turn your phone on and watch a clip right there. You had to wait till you load it all up, and it's I was talking to if I was talking to somebody, I might have been just talking to myself actually about how cool it would be to have like a Blockbuster again, where you can actually go in and pick out some videos and take them home and watch them, and how satisfying it is to be able to sit down and you can only watch that video that you brought into your house. It might be a niche market one of these days again.
Just to take away all the choice, you mean?
Yeah, to take the choice where you have to watch. If it's a like bunk video, you're watching the bunk video and you can't turn it off 10 minutes in and be like, change, switch.
I paid for this, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because now if you get slightly bored at all, you're just like, I'll just find a better one.
Exactly, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend that said like their family thing in the evening, like where back in the day we would have got together as a family to watch a movie.
Yeah.
And he was saying how for him, the evening activity is for them as a family to scroll through Netflix trying to find something to watch.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so true though. Like here, I know like my wife and I will sit there and like phone in one hand, flipping through and it's like half an hour goes by and like, oh, did you find something? No. So let's just put on HGTV or something weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be fun to kind of be able to just go into a store and be like, all right, I guess we're
Yeah.
picking this.
Yeah, that's what I
Or we're
say. I
watching
think it's going to be a niche market here. Like some millennial hipster, they're going to bring it into a bigger city, and you're going to walk in, and you'll be able to buy these videos. I'll go because
It might be
I'll
you.
get excited. It might be me. Yeah, it might be me. I am moving to a bigger city, so
Yeah.
I mean that might be my calling. But yeah, no, I think it'd be cool. You could buy popcorn, like a single serving popcorn while you're there, and like you're like a candy bar too. So
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, people walking down the street, they'd be like, what is this place? They'd have to go in,
yeah.
you know? Like what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd be intrigued.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
On that note, we'll get back to
So what are we here? What are we doing here today?
We're just planning future businesses.
Yeah. Oh.
so then, like, the later days of the platform, before we get into Campbell Soup, those were a little bit interesting times too. I wonder if you want to talk about that.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, what do I say? Like, where do we start? Like, there's a transition period of the outdoor platform and the acceptance of, before the Campbell Soup days, and Youth for Christ coming in, and what Steve was bringing to the table, and there were some hard times there for a little bit. I think you can probably agree with.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to get at. Just I'd be curious on your take on that era.
Yeah, for me, it was pretty positive. It for sure was positive in the sense that when I came in, you came to town. Well, you were already in town, but you got some funding to bring on a summer staff, and I applied for it right away, and it seemed like it just kicked off, and I was helping out with the platform skate right away. I don't really remember too much before that, besides just helping out right away with the platform. But it took a bit of convincing on some of the older guys, what was happening, and they didn't really take change or even accept. I don't even know if there was change. There's acceptance that there was people that wanted to help out the scene and build stuff and connect with people.
Yeah, and I think we probably don't have time to get into a lot of it, but there was a lot of mistakes made in that time that was probably justified. There was some pushback, but yeah, we were sure trying, and we did make mistakes, but trying to just help bring skateboarding forward in the community, and which is why we ended up at Campbell Soup, which you were a huge part of. Yeah.
I mean, even talking about changing the mistakes, anytime you're, in uncharted territory and trying to make, things happen, you're going to make mistakes. So, it's whatever. I think it's all positive. I think it was all positive, and it led to, bigger things for the community and the people that were skating or scooting. I don't think we had many scooters at that.
I don't think scooting was a thing back then.
Scooters wasn't that thing. To be honest, I think scooting it's cool, but back then, man, I would have broke your scooter right in half.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it.
But no.
Could you imagine me rolling up to the old platform? Jeez.
Yeah, I would have rode your scooter, but been like, "Hey, kid, come me see your scooter," and I would have rode it for a little bit, and then I would have threw it on the train tracks.
Yeah,
but it's a good thing that I'm older now and more accepting. So, but yeah, back to those days.
Just before Campbell Soup was when the metal ramps came.
Yeah, when I look at it, I don't see any too many of the issues before the Campbell Soup days. Like I to me, it was all good. Like we built ramps and we skateboarded and we had fun. And so as far as the stuff that went wrong, or if it did go wrong, I don't really remember all those things.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Maybe you do. I guess you do, but
Yeah.
for me, it was cool. When the metal ramps showed up, that was just awesome. I remember just loving it.
Where did you get them from?
We got them from, the Pletts, Bill Plett. I don't know if was the material donated or did Bill donated, or how did that work? I don't even know.
Okay, so what happened was Youth for Christ got a grant for it was a work training program. So this grant was going to cover the cost to, first of all, employ, I think there was 10 people or something that they were employing. And then, so they got the material, was all part of the grant. And then a Bill Plett from the welding shop, he worked with them and taught these trainees how to weld.
Oh, that's cool.
And so,
nice.
But in order to teach them how to weld, you need a project to weld, right? And so the idea was that they were going to make skateboard ramps. And so some of the trainees were actually skaters.
Oh, cool.
And so they welded together these metal skateboard ramps to put on the platform, and it was part of a training program.
Everything there was built by, you didn't just buy any ramps, just
no.
Oh,
they're
that's
all
so
built.
cool.
Yeah, they're all
I didn't
built.
know that. I thought you just got them from somewhere.
No.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool when that started happening. Things were really coming together for the platform.
Yeah, and I guess what I was trying to get at there, which obviously you missed, and which is fine.
I miss things all the time, so you gotta spell it out for me here.
Just that, there were people that didn't appreciate, again, we're talking core skaters here from the platform days, and they were all about, let's steal some lumber, let's build some stuff, burn it at night, steal some more stuff tomorrow and build it. And so to have us come in and put these ramps that, first of all, you couldn't burn.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's taking a little bit of the ownership away, even though some of the guys that built them were skaters. Yeah. It felt like their space was being taken away from them.
Yeah, and I guess for me, there was 3 generations there.
Yes.
There was 3 generations, so there was the core, the really core guys that were just no.
Yeah.
It was no. And then, I mean, I guess I say 3 generations, but there were still some that were just only a year or 2 ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
And they were well, these guys are saying, no, it's not cool. So we got to jump on the bandwagon. And for me, I was just this is cool. These are ramps. I'm going to skate them.
And you're going to get to skate them consistently.
Yeah,
now.
I don't care. So because for them, the older guys, it was if I'm thinking for them, is we don't want this to go mainstream. We're punks. We listen to punk music. We drink, we smoke, we do whatever. And this is hardcore. We're hardcore. If we want something, we'll build it or steal it or whatever. We don't need someone to bring us something and give us any charity. A lot of these skaters were they came from broken homes or, didn't have money or anything. So they had their guard up and were, change. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. I can see that. I can see the struggle, the struggle was real coming up and, but for me, I saw it as all positive. I couldn't jump on the bandwagon of rejecting anything, and I don't know.
Yeah, and you were a little bit younger, although there are some guys your age that would have felt the same.
Yeah, and there were some guys, and I remember that were, and even for me with them, I think they were friends. Well, we were all friends, so for me, it wasn't a concern for me, and I don't think I pushed back. I don't know. Do you remember me pushing back at all with anything?
No.
No, I think I was pretty cool with everything that was going on. But yeah, some of the guys, they were still they were still taking on with what the older generations were laying down.
Yeah, for sure.
Did they come around and like ride the? Did they?
Everyone rode the ramps.
Enjoy the new ramps and stuff. Or?
Yeah, I think everybody.
Yeah, I
used
think
them,
everyone did. At that time when the metal ramps came, some of the older guys kind of just started disappearing.
Okay.
They kind of like just fell off, and then it was like Dustin Plutt and Darren and all those guys and those were that in between generation kind of crew that they finally kind of got on board. And that was weird because they were the guys that built those ramps.
Oh yeah.
Okay. They were there building those ramps, but then we're still kind of like on the fence if it's cool or not. So, but after it started transitioning to like the Campbell Soup building, they just kind of, I think it just kind of went away. They just kind of accepted that, this was going to be a positive thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and by the time we got to Campbell Soup, I think a lot of those guys were kind of like at the age where they were moving on.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of skating with that age group anymore.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing was just that it was threatening their core roots of skateboarding and like what they stood for, and that outsider kind of not subscribing to a team, like to the team, the jock life.
Yeah, we better be careful before you start.
I won't be name dropping anybody.
And then after that was Campbell Soup, the indoor park at Campbell Soup, which is for those of you that are listening that don't know, it used to be a Campbell Soup factory, and so we would just call it Old Campbell Soup. But in the warehouse we had. We were able to get a skate park in there, and you were a huge part right from the beginning all the way to the end. I believe you were a big part of that. You helped us set that up in there, and you were a regular volunteer working there all the time.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. We were there all the time, all the time. Like every day, any day that we could be there, we were there. Like I remember, I think we broke into there before it was the skate park and rolled around. Like there was a couple times that happened, but then when Youth for Christ had possession of it, and then the big wall went up, and then the ramp started coming in there, and the mini ramp got built, and
those were the same ramps. Sorry, that like were on the platform. Right?
Yeah, those are the metal ramps went in there first, and then there was a bunch of like the bank got built and the mini. And I remember spending like a whole night there. I think we spent maybe we even spent the night there building a ramp all night long. Like the up gap. I think it was like the
I want to talk about the up gap because you're right. So
I've only seen like pictures and a few videos and never got to ride it. I was too young.
Oh yeah. No, it was awesome.
Let me start the story here with the up gap. So I don't remember why, but I was away for some reason. I was not around. I can't remember if I had something.
That's right. That's why we spent the whole night there, because Steve wasn't around. So
I wasn't around. So these guys decide that they need to build a new ramp in the park while I'm away, without me knowing about it. And
it's like a Euro.
I didn't know that was how it happened, but
that's the way I remember it anyways.
Yeah.
Because I remember I come back and it's like right in, like when you walk in, it's like right there. And I'm just like, what is this?
It's like a Euro. Like it was like a gap, like a bank, and then like a gap on the top. That's
yeah. They decided they wanted a Euro gap.
And it's big.
It took a lot of space, like took up a lot of space. Yeah. But the gap wasn't big by any means, but
no, I mean, it couldn't be small if it took all night.
No. Yeah.
I'm going to have to try and find a picture of it. But the funny thing is, so this is the way Matt was, because, and I appreciate Matt taking a lot of ownership of that park. Like he had a lot to do with making sure that place was a good place to skate.
Yeah.
And so don't hear me wrong here, but every once in a while he was up to mischief, and this up gap was part of his mischief, where he, exactly like he said, they had to stay all night because they had to get it done before I saw what they were doing. And
you weren't there, so how did you guys get in? Like, did you just like?
Oh, I had a
you
key. Man. I had a key. Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah. So the funny thing is they build this thing, which was fine. I like, did I give you guys heck for it at all? Do you remember? I don't remember if I did or not.
Mostly just confusion.
I don't think so. Like I don't think you did. No, I don't think you did.
So
I think you were probably impressed that we got it done, but by the time you got back.
Okay, so maybe. I'm not gonna
You weren't impressed. You weren't impressed with the ramp, but you were impressed that we got it done by the time you got there.
That's what I was gonna say. So they build this thing all night. They spend all night building this thing.
Yeah, like actually all night. Sorry.
Oh, like I think we slept on the couches.
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah, like I think we slept there.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. And so I come in the next day, and I see this thing, and whatever. Like we had a lot of material to build stuff there. Like we always had lots of lumber. So if we wanted to build something, we could build it.
Yeah.
And so they build this thing, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, the thing was so rickety. You stand on it, the whole thing, like you weren't sure if the thing was going to fall apart or not. And I don't think it took very long, and there was like holes in it because it
wasn't properly supported.
No.
Yeah.
No. And let's be fair. Now you would build things a lot differently than you did back then, but it was pretty slapped together back then.
Yeah.
How many guys built it?
I don't even know who was there. I want to say Butler was there.
Probably.
Who else? Oh, Ruben. Probably Ruben.
Yeah, probably.
Brad, maybe.
Yeah.
Beauchamp, maybe. Yeah, so it'd be like those 4 or 5 guys that were like that we would be in it together.
That's
but
awesome.
we hacked that thing together.
Yeah. So yeah, the way I remember it anyways was it wasn't the fact that they built this thing, but it was so poorly built. I was just like shaking my head. It was just like, really, you guys? Like you spend all this time building this piece of garbage?
Well, there was no planning. Like you didn't draw it and then build it. It was, we thought about it and we're like, okay, well, let's just start cutting boards.
Yeah.
And then we'll just screw them together and see how she goes.
Yeah. And you got some sessions?
We skated it. Oh, we skated
it got skated for a while. Yeah.
It was up for a while. I don't know if we went in and took it apart a bit and supported it a bit better, but
there were a few repairs that happened to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think when Steve came back and got involved, then it got better.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because that was like when I think back some of the memories of the Campbell soup. That's one that always comes to mind. And whenever I see like footage where that thing is in there, I remember I was talking to Raleigh about it the other day, telling him the story about you guys doing that.
Yeah.
And so I was hoping that would come up in this episode.
Yeah. Next time I'm going through like the GL1 tapes, I'll have to look for that ramp.
You'll have to look for
it.
Because
I'm getting Steve's tapes off the camera.
Oh, nice. Yeah. There's probably a lot of good stuff out there. Or I think is good. Maybe it's garbage, but I keep thinking about the one time that Steve and I were both standing in the shop area, and what was his name? Thomas.
Yeah.
So Steve and I are standing there, and Thomas comes running through the door, dangling his arm, and he's got his arms like a Z, like it's so broken, and he's like wobbling, he's like shaking it in the air, like waving at us, and like I swear we didn't even say anything. We our mouths hit the floor, and we're like. We had no idea what to do, and it was a shocker. I think then maybe Kevin someone took him to the hospital then after that. I don't remember, but
yeah.
Well, I hope somebody took him.
Yeah, I don't know if Kevin scooped him up, but somebody took him in, but it was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Is that the worst injury?
There was a few there.
Yeah, I don't know if much worse. Like that one was definitely the most dramatic. The way
that was the most dramatic.
The way he was waving that thing around, I was just like
he was waving
in my head. I'm just like, stop waving that.
Yeah. Like was he waving because he was like couldn't believe it, or
he was in shock. He was in shock, 100% shock. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he was brutal. Just like in disbelief that his arm was like, it was nuts. And I think Butler's torn ACL was the worst.
Oh yeah, that's right. The torn ACL, that was bad. Yeah,
I think that was the worst one.
Anything else from those days that you think of?
I mean, there's lots of stuff that
I feel like I missed the park and I never even got a chance to ride it.
Yeah, I mean, It was fun. It was really fun. And at the same time, there was I guess there was the park, but then there was all the trips that we did do the platform.
I was just gonna say, like that was the same era when we started doing trips.
Yeah, there was we went to Calgary once, right? Was it
More
just
than
Calgary?
once, yeah.
Yeah, like there was Calgary, and that was like shenanigans like the entire time. Like, do you remember when we put the soap in the hot tub? The hot tub was like halfway to the ceiling, and like and then I don't know if there's a housekeeper or the
manager.
The manager who came running in, and we were all like, I think we're sitting in it even, or
Couldn't
like
see it, though.
couldn't see anyone. It was like just like over your head.
Wait, I think you've told me this story before. You must.
Probably.
Yeah.
It was.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that trip was that was an interesting trip. Like, I think every night. I don't know why we stayed in hotels. After that we did camping because it was just a gong show. Because every night I had to convince the hotel to not kick us out. And I'm just like, no, my guys are going to do better. Like, we're going to be okay. And
I took all the soap away from them.
Yeah. Well, then there was like water balloons out the window.
Yeah. Firecrackers.
Yeah.
No way.
Skateboarding down the halls.
And there was like, who did the poop in the bag and left it? That wasn't at the hotel though. I think that was at that. I think we stayed at what was that college that we stayed overnight once?
Oh, Carenport.
Yeah. I think the guys did like poop in a bag and put it in one of the dudes' closets. It wasn't your closet. It wasn't me.
so
I didn't have a part of that. That was the bikers.
No
Yeah,
way.
it was one of the bikers that did it.
Wait, and you said throwing water balloons out the window
Oh yeah.
onto like people?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the hotel. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were on like third floor or something,
Yeah.
and they were throwing water balloons down at people in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And so
You got to remember
again-
though, these are the days from Jackass 1 and
Right.
the Jackass era.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny for me because I had to convince the hotel that
No, I
we were
believe
going to
it.
do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were you like, did you believe that they were going to do better?
I think he was just scared the entire time. It's just like, didn't believe it, but like was hopeful.
There was hope.
That's so funny.
I beg,
Yeah.
guys.
How long was
Come
that
on,
trip?
guys. It was like 12 days or
Yeah.
something.
Oh no, that's such a
Yeah,
long
it was a
time.
disaster.
Yeah.
Guys were using, those plastic deck chairs that they have in pool areas in hotels?
Yeah.
They were taking those up and riding down them on the water slide.
I didn't have part of that. I don't remember that part. That must have been the bikers.
That's so funny.
No, I'm
Skaters
pretty
wouldn't do that.
sure, pretty sure it was the skaters.
Oh, that's awesome. That didn't
Yeah,
last
I
too
think
long.
it
eh?
was. I think it was Stiggy that was doing that.
Oh.
That probably didn't last long at all. Because like if you
Well,
go,
it didn't last long because the chairs got broke.
Yeah.
oh, I guess so.
Chair
I
legs
mean, like,
broke off.
yeah, if you're going down head first, there's a manager in there now, so
Yeah.
I can't imagine with the chairs. That's so funny.
Yeah. Those were crazy days, crazy trips that happened back then.
Yeah.
That was all one trip you said, right?
That was one
to
trip.
Calgary?
Yeah.
That was one
What?
trip. Yeah.
Did you go to the States with them?
Yeah, like on the California breakaway trips.
Yeah.
Yo, those were the good old days. Yeah.
Any stories from those?
They weren't crazy stories, just really good times. Like
Okay.
it was. I remember California breakaway being like the best times,
That's sick.
and like that was like the gateway for me to like wanting to travel and making sure that I travel now like quite often.
Yeah.
So I cherish those memories of going on the California breakaway, and
That's super cool.
yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah, and we got to skate a lot of interesting places. And back then, like, just the other day, I was watching footage of you and Kevin skating at 3rd and Army.
Oh yeah, I sucked there, but Kevin did. Like Kevin killed it.
Yeah, I think for me, just like being able to be at these spots that are on the videos, right?
Yeah.
Like even going to Hubba's Hideout and China Banks and stuff was pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it was the Chino. Was it Chino? Is it Chino with the big 3 or big
Yes.
4? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was like kind of one of the highlight spots for
Yeah.
me. That was a good one.
Oh, is that like the spot right behind the park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a really cool place to go to. The park was awesome. Like even the park, like you see it now in videos. I think Nige skates it, or has been skating
Yeah.
it, and like
I've
it's
seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a really fun park to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But just it's funny, like, my wife and Jackson and I went to San Diego, was it 2 years ago now?
Okay.
When we could travel, and we went to like the burger shop, the Hodads that what we found when we went.
Yeah.
What we found when we went years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
So I relived some of those spots, and it was awesome. It was just. I tried to look up where that bagel place was.
Oh,
that one
yeah.
bagel place that
Einstein's.
I couldn't think. I should have texted you and figured out what place where it was, but I couldn't find it. So, but yeah, it was cool.
I just I remember you being on almost all the trips that we did back in those days. Like
I went when I think it was they started. I went the year after they started, I think, and then I went every single year for 4 or 5 years, and even I went the last year when I wasn't supposed to. I think I was overage, and you guys let me come on, and that was when they actually strip searched me at the border, which was super super weird. But they let me into the States.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
yeah.
One of the things that that we've talked about on some of the episodes is this idea of skaters being artists, and there was so much creativity that was and still is in the skate culture, and it was just fun times with you guys being young and always looking for different projects or whatever. And I remember helping you and a few other guys when you had ideas to do T-shirt companies, which guys still today, I still get skaters coming today, I want to do this brand, and it's just it seems to be a skater thing to start a brand. And so that's one of the things, actually, a question that Joel Baker had when we were talking about the podcast. He's like, I want to hear Shak talk about when he did his T-shirt thing, and I had actually forgotten about it.
Oh, I did. I did too, just until now. That's funny that you mentioned that. Yeah, you know what? Looking at skaters, and even just looking at all the professional skaters that are out there, and how many of them are actual artists now, whether that is in music or paint or digital or some sort of creative arts or whatever. There's so many of them that are artists of some sort, and I think that's just part of it for a lot of skaters that that's a creative outlet for us, and it just translates to other things. And I think we made some T-shirts. I think we called it "This Is For Us" or something like that.
That's right. I couldn't remember the name. I remember the T-shirts because I saw some footage the other day where we were wearing them.
Yeah, it's so funny because it was just a total ripoff of another bigger brand at the time or something, just taking the abbreviation or initials and making it onto a T-shirt and thinking it's really cool and we can do something with it, and
Do you still have any?
No, I don't. I wish I did.
Yeah.
Steve, do you have any?
Not a chance I have them. No,
Shoot.
The only thing, like I said, I've seen on some of the old footage that you've been taking off tapes, but that's it.
Yeah, I think it was short-lived, but it was
short-lived.
It was super fun though. It was exciting and fun to did the whole experience of doing the screen printing, right? We're doing the screen printing. So I'm pretty sure Steve did most of the work for us, and we just showed up and put the ink on the shirts.
Showed up and planned the next one.
So it was cool. It's interesting to hear that there's guys that are still wanting to do it, and you're still helping out with. Are you helping out with these guys doing these brands and shirts and stuff like that?
Yeah, nobody it hasn't translated into actually getting them done yet, but guys are they're talking about it, and I just try and okay, this is what it takes to make it happen. And
is it just a blast from the past when you're
it is, it's oh, here we go again. It's skaters are skaters.
Yeah, it's cool. It's each generation is just coming through and doing the same thing.
Yeah. And then like, if you look at like the scam guys and how like they started in high school and now it's a legit business, right?
Yeah.
And so it does happen. And I always like, I think about that. And so when guys are coming to me and they're like, oh, I was thinking about doing this, then it's like you wanna fan the flame, because who knows where it's gonna go, if it goes anywhere, because most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah. No, it does. It's like it's I think of it like for you, it's like Dazed and Confused when he's like, all right. Like, it's like I keep getting older and they stay the same age.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, I really love the idea that skaters are creative, and when they're not skating, it has to come out in other outlets. And it's fascinating to me. And I think it's partly because like when you're skateboarding, like whether you're building something, an obstacle, or whether you're looking in public space, looking at the world differently than other people, like looking at a handrail or a stair set or a gap or something, you look at everything differently, and that's artistic.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the heck was that?
It might have been,
I don't know.
that might have been my phone.
It was it sounded like a fart. I think someone farted actually. Your face was like, I farted. So
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't know whose phone it was. I knew it wasn't mine.
There's your creative outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely in us, and whether it's coming out in skateboarding or in business, like being an entrepreneur, like for myself now, and it's definitely. It's in us and it's coming out, like it or not, it's coming out in some form of creative way, being artistic or like entrepreneur or some creative way. And it does for everyone that does it, I think. Like, if you were a real true skater that grew up doing it and still do it, you're going to be doing something pretty, creative. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. I see that. Like in all the years, I just see so many guys like you who, like you said, whether it's through your business and like being creative in the way that you do things there, or in other people that are into photography or other things, and your creativity comes out in more than just like with your business. You also are pretty good with the paintbrush. I've seen some really nice artwork in your house.
That was all bought.
I'm pretty sure you've shown me a piece that you've done.
Yeah, I don't know. Have I?
Just go with it.
Yeah, okay. I
just say you painted all of them.
Yeah,
This is really all I'm doing is segueing this opportunity to show the artwork that I have that you did, some of your early work, which I'm expecting you to get really famous, and then this artwork is going to become quite. Do
I get any royalties off this stuff?
It's yours.
Yeah. So there we go.
These are incredible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Why? What makes that terrible?
I remember that. I remember trying to get some inspiration off the internet to.
How old were you?
Oh, I don't even know now. What, 16, 17?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
hang that up, Steve.
I'm thinking this is going to decorate our studio.
There you go.
Yeah. We were looking for more things to put up.
Yeah. Here's another one.
That's actually sick.
Yeah, I thought so too. I don't know why you're embarrassed by this, but
it's been a long time since I've seen these. Like I just take me back to when I was probably doing them in the basement of my mom's house.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah. So
that's cool.
This morning when I was thinking about us doing this,
I can't believe you have those actually.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised that you kept them.
Oh, for sure. For sure, I kept them
in the garbage a long time ago.
No, can't do that.
No. Okay.
I actually didn't want to show them to you today because I thought you might want to take them back. One of the things that I am curious about, is now that you're a family man and you've got young kids, what does it feel like? Just thinking back to one of the posts that you had just a little while ago, Jackson is on a snowboard, and and you guys are out on the hill. What do you think about when you think of like him getting into snowboarding? Maybe he'll start skate, especially if you're going to live close to Commenda. He'll be hanging out at the skate park.
Close to Commenda, he'll be good.
Yeah, you know what? Definitely, like my wife and I were both big on, letting our kids like find their own way and do what they want to do and not push them into anything.
Right.
So it's pretty cool just now. Like I'm pretty big into biking now, as you know, and like mountain biking and road biking and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty big to see Jackson like take his balance bike and want to get going on his balance bike. So that was exciting. And then with the snowboarding, I bought him a snowboard last year, like way before he could even use it, ready to go, like just ready to go. And because we have that cabin out at Larivere, so I was thinking, it would be really good if he would take interest in snowboarding. And sure enough, like, he did. And so it's like the feeling of watching your child like snowboard and like on the hill that you grew up snowboarding on, and it's hard to explain. It's really encouraging. Like it's weird to think, like, I feel like only a few years ago I was going and I was like jumping in a car with people to go do those things. And now I'm like responsible for this child to keep him safe, which actually he hurt himself pretty bad last time we went snowboarding. But yeah, it's so strange now to be like, looking after this child and watching him snowboard. It's really exciting. And like, it's just a pleasure to be able to, mold that child into like a little you to be like to want to learn, and like it's super rewarding. It's super, like, at the same time it's like frustrating a bit when it's like, okay, I think like I'm pretty decent at like teaching people how to like get the ropes of the skateboard and snowboarding, and like when your 3-year-old's like, no, Dad, I can do this, and it's like, okay. And then they like don't listen. It's like, oh my goodness, come on. So those things are frustrating, but it's like, it's exciting. Like I do hope that he's like into the the skateboarding, the snowboarding, and like the biking kind of sports.
Is he your oldest?
Yeah. Him, he's 3 and a quarter. Okay, something like that. Cool. Yeah.
We have so much history. We could
chat all night.
Well, yeah, we could. But for the sake of keeping the podcast,
we're probably gonna have the younger viewers just snoring here listening to it.
Hopefully they'll be interested.
I thought this is a good one. I thought there were lots of good stories.
I think so.
There's tons. I could tell stories for days.
Yeah. So we might have to have you back again another time.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
So good to have you here. And yeah, thanks for those of you that watch and listen. Hopefully you enjoy that. And remember to check out our Patreon.